Court says, Dave, you think it's safe to get out? Yeah, the sun's coming up. It's getting light.
No, it was a.
And I'm sitting there, maybe we need to wait just a little bit longer. And John David thought that we were out there walking around. He gets up, and he's going to get out of the pickup and go get the fire. I don't know why he got back in the truck, but he got back in the truck and cranked it up to warm up. And then he turns around, and he's got this face print, nose print on his pickup. On his
That was the first
window.
night.
The first night.
That was the first night before our.
Yeah. But
just saying hi. That's all they're doing.
I tell you what, that's the last night up there. It was deadly quiet. Nothing moved. Even the coyotes were saying, "We don't want
None of this.
We
There
don't want
wasn't.
any of it."
There wasn't nothing moving.
But last year with the rain coming down, it was so dark you couldn't see the rain falling.
I'm so freaking filthy right now. It's not even funny.
We barely had a good fire going, and we saw this car come down to the island.
Yeah.
It peeled out of here. We heard what sounded like a puppy. Well, Perry him and Mike had been hearing something. And I walked down behind the bathroom, so I said, "Here, pup, come on, boy." All of a sudden you hear, boom, no more puppy. And what the hell happened? And here comes Randy Harrison driving in his pickup. He gets out and he says, "This is the only camping area I can find with a fire, so it must be the Hollies." And I said, "Yeah, it does. How you doing, Randy?" I knew who he was the minute he got out of the truck. And he come over and we was talking. He said, Perry and Michael was still standing there looking down. He said, "They think they see something or hear something?" I said, "Yeah, for a while now." He goes to his truck and takes out a FLIR unit. Now, I'm not very sophisticated. I'd never seen one other than TV. I want one.
They're good.
We watched something slip up a hillside, apparently on its belly, and watch it. And then it eased back down that hillside and disappeared, and we never heard it again or saw it again. We're wet, we're miserable, we're cold. We all decided to go to bed. Oh, excuse me. Me and Court's getting a blazer. We've been talking just a few minutes, and all of a sudden, limb thrown up on top of the blazer.
Wow.
And Court's, Dave, yeah, let's just see what he does. And if he meant you hear it being dragged off. And I had covered all the windows except the back of the rear windshield. And sometime during the night, Courts thought he was dreaming it, and if he was dreaming it, we shared one. But there was somebody out there walking around camp with a flashlight on, and he couldn't see inside because the wind had done frosted over. And we sat there and watched it. We really thought it was Perry getting out to use the bathroom. And so we laid down, went back to sleep. And the next morning I got up to see if I could find the limb. There wasn't a limb
Anywhere
around except up several yards uphill from us at another campsite where the year before me and Courts had
something like at least 30 or 40 feet away at least.
Probably. And nothing dropped out of a tree because It was one of these kind of pines wailing up there. Everything was cleared all the way up.
Yeah.
So something messed with us that night too.
Say hi, Kev.
Damn smoke.
Whoa.
What'd you do?
So what are we doing here?
Trying some game calls. This is a whale song.
This right here, it's been bent over. And it's popped right here.
Clearly see someone that pushed it.
Yeah. That's why we're gonna get this for David so we can see it. That's a blind. That's to kind of provide some cover right over here. You can see the truck there. And if you're behind this, that truck coming up, this provides cover. You know, if it was somewhere else just along the road where they've been doing construction or whatever, or you know, clear cutting, I would have said that's part of clear cutting. But it's so isolated by itself.
And it's up on this hill.
It's up on this hill, it's overlooking the road. So,
and look, you can tell there's a clear trail right here. You can see where the...
Yeah. Will they be moving through? Looks like it. Oh, here comes David right now.
And there's another where they could...
Yeah.
We've got, you can see up under the trees, and there was a black shape in the clump of trees doing like this, and then would walk out far enough that you could get some eye shine and keep our attention.
She goes, I ain't got my bed.
Just said, you know,
Is that what's your problem? Is that
not
what
so
your problem is?
worried
You don't got your
about this.
bed?
That's all it's doing is keeping our attention, and that's
It's fully
that's when I
empty.
peeled out
There ain't nothing in
mine,
it.
but
Even dry fired it
sent
like
them
3 or 4
this
times.
way, because you were up here, Deidre was making around, Perry was here, and then we got the kids. And that was it. So I knuckle dusted and
Since
said,
Perry, right before I sent him out over to turn that light on.
that light, that bulb's popped, it's fallen too many times.
But
You're okay, bro.
You get your big wishy-washy.
I know Rock's done got agitated, he's done climbed in the truck. Talk to him. Talk to him. No. He's scared.
Look at that. Let's go back.
All right, me and Perry are kind of not really lost, but we are. We got to the wrong ravine to hook up with the people putting the cameras out. As you can see, we were getting our workout. And it's all up and down, up and down.
Yeah. A good quantity?
About 19 inches.
Buying just the huge sheet.
Ball about 5.5. 8 on the top part.
18, 5.5, 8.
19,
Okay.
8, 5.
Okay, it's because he slid, I guess.
No. 19.85 would be the length, ball of the foot, heel of the foot. 19.85.
8.
Hey, come in, base camp. Come in, Vegas. Base camp, go ahead. Yeah, base camp confirmation on the measurements of that print. 19.85. Copy. 19.85. 10-4. JD? Yeah, go ahead. It is castable, but it will not make a very good cast. Okay, I think you want the cast.
John, did you see that cam? Where Forrest and I were.
I think we put camera systems up in here before, but after finding this one, two trails that came off the back here, down here and cross right through there and up here, and then with a busted tree.
I'm just documenting.
That's fine. I am too. This is the first time to work with this stuff. I didn't get a chance to play with it because it was so damn cold. I was gonna go out and, you know, mess with it.
Let's see, I hadn't cast one in 14 years.
Yeah.
Last one I cast was 21 inches beforehand. And still proud of that one. Wasn't a lot of detail. It stepped in a gopher run. And matter of fact, it belonged to the creature that I had seen. First one I ever actually laid eyes on. And I kept it. I've still got it. But all we had as far as casting materials then was plaster of Paris, so we had about 10% shrinkage on it.
Right. Well, this is like a plaster of Paris, but it's a grade 1.
Yeah.
Whereas plaster of Paris is grade 4. Let's see here. I got a new tool here. I think I have some scissors.
They'll see your dirty pillows. Sorry, I just watched Carrie the other night.
Yeah, this is going to be a very thin. For something like this, we need almost 5 pounds. For something this large.
Well, see, this is typically what I find out here. This is run at the mill. If I find a track that's castable, this is in the neighborhood. It's not Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, but it's in the neighborhood.
But this is like this is just a thin plate.
JD, we're back in here. Where are you at?
Just keep following the creek bed, or you can follow the running water on the other creek. Michael's in there to meet y'all.
All right, 10-4.
I have confirmation on y'all.
Okay.
And then there's two spots at the top of the hill where these trees have uprooted. Right here you can see a bull run where they come down through here, and also a logging road that's all completely open. And what they'll do, they'll chase whatever they're going after through here, and any animal with survival instincts always takes the least path, the path of least resistance. And it's a natural fall, but they're using it to their advantage on it. But you can tell by all the pressing down through here, and then everything else is all natural foliage.
Down in the deadfall, there's actually something that's squatted down there. You can see the big ass butt print in it. If you'd like to see it, we'll work our way down.
I'll tell you what, you have to be a fucking monkey to be able to climb these hills.
Well, it's just a drop off at the top of it.
Did I say beep? Okay, as long as you beep it.
This is fucked up worse than a football bat.
Fuck yeah.
You can't say that. Okay, well this is fucked up worse than a pair of basketball cleats. Narrows as it's coming up. You have one that whatever you're chasing has to keep its head low. It can't look up, it can't really be jumping, it's got to move. It's got to dig to come up this hill, and it's got to run right between these two. And both of them could easily be squatted behind. Yeah. Easily.
One right there and one right here.
So if anything ever comes up here, don't ever come up this hill, go down the roadway then.
What's the plan?
See why I urgently made a call?
Yeah.
And this is why I told Courts he needed to see this. I'd be happy to find one or two of these. Not all of it at once. All of it at once kind of makes me nervous. So that's why I was talking about fatal funnel.
They got that one under there. They can't. They're moving so fast they can't go under or jump fast. They got to go through there, and that's when they get
either with a rock or a stick.
Grab them by the leg and break their neck.
Either way.
See, like I was saying a while ago, hide behind the top one. As it comes through that second set of trees, they jump out. I got the second one to stop all their momentum.
Yeah.
But you still got something coming behind them.
None of this was here last year because me and Michael came in as far as this point back here before we went up that hill.
Now here's a spooky shot. How many of you think watching this right now?
I don't know, there was one walking around earlier. That's why I said to bring the party favor. Bring the American Express car.
Well, at least got one in the chamber.
Just about to where we're gonna walk down, and all of a sudden, about 20 fucking buzzards just flew up off the ground, out of the tree, and you like to see John have a runaway. Because it's just like...
Oh yeah. Just like they showed in the movies.
You like to see John have a runaway.
It sounded just like feet hitting the ground, running from us. Like something big.
We thought
moving.
we done blew up on something.
Yeah.
And then something just blew into a million pieces and ran in all directions, and it was like...
Shit.
And that's kind of what I was worried about rolling down my legs.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it wasn't expecting it. We'd been up there about 4 or 5 times during the day. Never seen a buzzard, never saw anything of a roast of any kind up there.
Did Melissa see that vocal yet?
No, sir, not yet. Court's putting his microphone on, so.
All right, Melissa's going to do one of her famous Bigfoot howls.
All right, hold on. We're going to get 5 seconds.
Yeah, 5 seconds.
Oh,
yeah, let me record.
Melissa will be doing her call in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That was awesome.
You gave me the boys last night when you did it.
The Dinsmore brothers recorded me doing that, and they recorded an alleged Bigfoot, and they sound identical.
Yeah.
I'm talented.
I stayed up the side, so it's very long.
The head was all standing out like a lion's mane. And then it slowly went back behind it, and I looked at John and I said, "Did you see what I saw?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm going to go up there and take a picture." He said, "Give me your gun." He said, "If I tell you to get down, you fall on the ground right when I tell you to." I said, "Okay." I started walking up the slope, and for a year I had been on the internet learning from other people, writing things that I suspected and speculated about, things like that, which turns out that pretty much was right on the button from what we know about them now. And I was walking up this little game trail, and I got to start thinking all the stuff I'd read and all the stuff I'd written and helped write, and my kahunas wasn't as big as coconuts anymore. They started drawing up, especially when I heard off to the side, and I thought, surely it didn't get past us. And I stopped, and I was still panning with the light and stuff, and couldn't see anything. And John said, "Dad, I think you need to come on back down." Me and Candy are fixing to evac. He did. He said, "Dad, there's absolutely nothing behind the tent." Okay. Well, we'll stay here then. Maybe with the spotlight coming out, maybe that was enough to keep it away. But we come on out, and I put a new cylinder in the tent, in the lantern. We went back inside the tent. John built the fire up a little bit more. We went back to bed, and Candy's still crying. She's scared. And it was 30 minutes to an hour The thing came back. This time, it dropped down, put its face against the wall of the tent, and was sniffing. And then kind of grunting. And it put its face in right there next to the wall on my side where I was sleeping. I slapped it.
So it's a depression.
Yeah, I just, and it drew back real quick, and there was a startled, and I said, and she's about ready to bust out crying and screaming. I said, get your shoes on, get your shoes on, John, wake up, wake up. And while I'm trying to get him on the radio again, my tent cover top is being raised, and I can see the hand. And it had an opposable thumb, but it didn't have just nails. It had the nails that had come to a little Sharpie point to it. And you know, we know they rip out deer's guts. They've got to have something sharp enough to do that. And I've been telling people that for years, and they say, oh, they got fingers like and nails like we do. No, they don't. It's different. And Candy said, you got a gun, shoot it. And I said, settle down, get dressed. Get your clothes on, get dressed. Got John, I told him, I said, we're going to have to come out of here in a minute because something's messing around. And I finally said in this thing, because I knew it was still crouched about the tent. I said, Beller,
sure.
I've got a 45 automatic in here and I'm fixing to shoot. And there's going to be one of two things happen. One, you're going to tear the top off this tent, come in and get me. Or two, you're going to run away and get the next person that camps out here. About that time, John hit that light. Dad, there ain't nothing out here. And I said, well, we're coming out and moving in with you. We grabbed the lantern. We put the lantern in a tree right above his tent. Candy wouldn't get in the tent with her sister and her boyfriend. She was scared. She wanted to stay with David and John. And if John made room for us in that little two-man tent.
Oh my!
And he had a lounge in there, kind of to sleep on it like a cot. We got on the floor, and as we was getting in, there was a tree knock right up the hill, close. And we didn't have anything else happen the rest of the night. Going back to Clarksville the next day, I asked Candy, I said, Candy, are you on your menstrual cycle? No. Why? I said, that may have been the reason this thing kept coming back sniffing around the tent. And he could smell you. No, I'm not. Got her back home and found out that she was. And yeah. And you know, she really and truly could have got us hurt because she wouldn't be honest with me.
Yeah.
And now I didn't even come back out here. Me and John just, when we formed the group that we are now, we decided we wanted to hunt in Northeast Texas. We knew that Pat Mays held animals, and we started out there. And he was only a few miles at the time. He was living with his wife and her in-laws. Jennifer was pregnant with Tegan. And we'd come down and go to the lake, and we eventually, John had his first encounter that he knew what he was faced with back behind their house. He had one that would imitate his whistle to try to get their little dog to come out to the woods.
Oh no. Wow. That's cool.
We got Michael into it with us.
Which one?
Clash and Brandon Smith, and that was the beginnings of our little group.
Got to come back next time. You know what I mean?
We even found where one was so skilled at imitation, they imitated a crippled creature and got him a black bear.
And I mean, you could follow the story. I've been tracking since I was a kid. But you could follow the story. You could see his impression. Dragging right foot. Step, drag, and you could follow the black bear where it came in behind him, leaving tracks about like that. Wow. It's stalking what it thought was an injured creature. Right. Then all of a sudden you see the creature's tracks go into a clump of 2 or 3 trees. You see the black bears there, and they're kind of spinning around a little bit, and see the ground tore up.
Get one
From
more.
this clump of trees, you see it come out. There is no
you put it on that side.
And then you find
one more
claw marks up the tree where the bear tried to go up and got pulled right back down.
Oh, yeah.
No hide or hair.
Oh, my.
One of the other lovely animal stories through tracks.
Taken back to the troop to feed them.
One of the other ones that we found, and it's one of the best stories through tracks that I've ever found, was finding these tracks, a mother and an infant. And when I say an infant,
footprint no bigger than
this is the size of the track.
That is.
We have the picture somewhere of the cigarette pack laying in the creek next to the track with a 1/2 inch of water in it. And that is the track. Coming up the creek from the other direction are hog tracks. Suddenly you find where the hog dug in, where its feet braced, and where it tore back to charge. And then you find a massive rip out, and then no hog tracks. 50 yards away, gone. There's a hog skull. With the left eye socket broke from here to here on the snout, completely crushed. Lower jaw is in 3 pieces. Here, and then the first break here.
You reckon they use a rock or something, or do you just their hands?
I never found a rock.
Either one.
I never found the hand where it could use a hand.
Yeah,
but I know it grabbed hold, and based on the size of the skull on the hog, it grabbed a 250-pound hog and beat it to death by all the cords. They'd whistle, trying to get the dogs. They'd come into the backyard.
Did anybody ever lose any dogs?
All the time.
We ran
As a matter of fact, we started keeping track of it going through the newspaper, just flip to the lost and found,
right,
and start going through that area, and there was like 10 dogs a week listed as missing.
The thing that got our attention, and it was big, what was it, 2 or 3?
3 of them. There's a guy, his family owned a paving company, had highway contracts and stuff. Well, he had some high dollar registered cattle, and he started having some come up missing, so he microchipped them,
right,
where they can GPS every cow. And he had some come up missing.
He had reward in the paper.
Had rewards in the paper, had the GPS going. No GPS tracer ever found. Nothing.
wow.
And
It was
I mean,
right up by the lake.
they like walked off of the face of the planet. I mean, these things are based on the life of the battery, you know, and it's a real long life chip.
Yeah.
They dial it up and bam, it activates. They never could find them. And the cell barns, he had told all the cell barns about it, so they would, any of the registered cattle come in, they check the chips. And none ever went through any cells. They just disappeared.
Wow.
And they were pretty good size. We're talking about the cattle he was raising, mature female cow, knocking 1,000 pounds easy.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't like all three of them disappeared at once. It was like one, and then a month later another one. 2 months later the third one.